Hi, thanks for joining me for another Spilling the Tea. I'm Devana, founder of Witch's Tea Flint, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite black teas, Nilgiri. These podcasts have helped me realize that I might be addicted to black tea. It's not that I don't like green tea or herbal teas or white teas, and I'm not really well versed enough in the yellow teas or all the dark teas to really form much of an opinion, but the black teas, they've stolen my heart. A love for black teas sneaks up on you, and the first time you blend a black tea with vibrant flowers and herbs, you're sold, hook, line, and sinker. It's visually intoxicating, and it's just kept me coming back for more because it's also very aromatic. This might also just be a witch thing too, I don't know. These black teas are something I cannot get enough of. So, Nilgiri, we're going to talk all about that. If you remember the Spilling the Tea a couple of weeks ago, we know about Darjeeling, and that Darjeeling grows in a really high elevated region of the Blue Mountains in India. Nilgiri grows even higher than that. This is a gorgeous region with amazing mountain ranges, and it gets its name from the sex blue Kurunji flowers that grow in the area. It's some of the most scenic areas of India, which is saying a lot considering India, beautiful. It's definitely on a bucket list to visit. And this is where it gets a little weird. So the Fourth Anglo-Indian War happened and Nilgiri was colonized right around 1790. Over the next 20 years, the Brits came and went and created a sanitarium on the land. I know, weird, huh? The chief surgeon there asked to plant tea seeds. How did he get the tea seeds? Well, we've got a pretty good idea considering all of the colonization that happened. He figured, though, that it was an investment in the land and to give back to the people. So, he goes in the good guy column. Also thought it'd be something really pretty to look at because the camellia flowers that grow on Camellia sinensis are just gorgeous. Not quite understanding that you're probably not going to get the same thing that you just saw in China because you uprooted these trees and these trees didn't want to go. They found out a little bit later. They also hadn't quite grasped the concept that they were growing medicine in a place of medicine. Sometimes people are a little slower on the draw, but, we can't be too mad at them. And we also can't fault them too much because the moment they planted the seeds took hold and flourished within 3 years. The Brits, of course, were later ousted from the area. The tea plants, of course, took off. The sanitarium became a tea plantation that shifted into a commercial production of tea in 1859. So if you've been following along with these podcasts and keeping some sort of a timeline, I know it's okay if you haven't because this jumps around more than an episode of Lost. Just recall that these tea trees were all planted about the same time as the Ceylon, as the Assam, and some of the others. So we can credit the Brits for making tea available across the world. Just wish they would have maybe went about it a little bit better, but I digress. I am thankful, though, that we have so many varieties to choose from, especially Nilgiri. It's truly a special blend. Then again, I think they all are. The happier ending is that a majority of all these trees have thrived, and the ones stolen and replanted created so many different varieties of tea out there. They had no idea. We know that true tea comes from Camellia sinensis, and that was once a tree. Huge trees, let me just put that out there, with gigantic leaves. And in the replanting, the plant responded by being shorter and bushier, maybe a third of its size. Depending on where it grows, the elevation, climate, soil, Camellia sinensis changes and creates its own variation. People laugh at us plant people when we talk to our plants and we form bonds with our plants and personifying them, but how could you not? Tea itself becomes a living organism. I mean, of course, we know all plants are living organisms, but it gets a little weird for some people when we talk to the trees and when we give trees masculine and feminine characteristics. They look at us a little funny when we talk about, oh, you've hurt the tree like we've hurt a person. Well, when you care for a plant, when you care for a tree, when you care for a flower, it becomes an extension of yourself like it is a family member. It only makes sense that we would give these same traits, especially to the tea. The adaptability and the resilience of some of these plants is truly a hero's journey, and it has a beautiful energy with trials and tribulations. From an early Spilling the Tea, we talked about how tea is thriving even here in the US and Canada. It's quite remarkable. Nilgiri doesn't get a whole lot of recognition, but it is a beautiful tea. It's very mellow, aromatic, makes some of the best iced teas in the world because it doesn't get bitter or cloudy, and it has a very sweet note at the end that needs no sugar, and it brews cold very well. It's an affordable exotic tea and easier to get, so there's no bouginess or tea snobbiness with this one. The energy of Nilgiri isn't so much as a complacency, but it's a contentment. It is what it is, which can be a nice change from some of the other hoity-toity variations. And since tea in India is grown on the tea plantations, one of the variations you might want to look out for is Nilgiri Glendale Estate. It's a lot like a Ceylon in the growing season, but it has more lightness to it, which means less caffeine. This tea is great for day drinking. In fact, it was made for day drinking without the effects of Assam or oolong after 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's still about 40 milligrams per 8-ounce glass of caffeine, but since this tea is typically used in iced teas, it becomes watered down pretty fast. It's another reason why it's great for sipping throughout the day. So the magic of Nilgiri is resilience and prosperity and still having something to give at the end of the day. But what about its health benefits? Nilgiri, like many black teas, is loaded with health benefits. It can help you lower your bad cholesterol, which lowers your risk for heart attack. It can help lower blood sugar and stabilize your blood sugar to help fight diabetes. Nilgiri is a stress buster. It also amps up your immune system, helps you look younger, and increases bone health and oral health, which means you're going to keep your teeth for longer. And as we get older, that is a concern. Our Nilgiri base is paired with our Lakshmi herbal blend. When I look at bases to combine with my herbal blends, I want to stick with the teas that come from a similar region to be able to harness that energy. Nilgiri and Lakshmi paired beautifully. Lakshmi and Ganesh came into my awareness about the exact same time, and then they brought along Saraswati. It's hard not to love the three of them, and I've had a deep love for the three of them since 2005. I keep a tapestry of Lakshmi in my office at work with a tiny brass statue of her, Vishnu, and Ganesh, and it's in an altar opposite the tapestry. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth and prosperity, fortune and power, luxury, beauty, fertility, and auspiciousness. In her is the promise of material gain and fulfillment, as well as contentment in what you have. When you've achieved what you've set your sights on, there's a wave of contentment that washes over you when working with her. She isn't much of a social climber, but once you get what you want, she looks at you like, okay, just be happy. And there you are. The other side of her, though, is very restless. She's said to have an evil twin called Alakshmi, which just basically means not Lakshmi. When you let yourself dive into selfish pursuits and don't give thanks for your blessings, Alakshmi takes over and creates chaos in your life. Alakshmi wasn't always bad. She's just bitter. And I can't really say she's bad. She has her own energy and her own purpose. Alakshmi was born the first daughter, and it's custom that she would be married first. But there was a bitterness surrounding her birth of mud during a time of great oppression, and that stuck with her. Lakshmi was born in the light and made to be a favorite daughter. So when Vishnu came looking for a wife, Lakshmi was presented first. Awkward. So now if you're a devotee to Lakshmi and aren't doing what you're supposed to do, she sends in her evil twin to deal with you. And Alakshmi is not easy to get rid of. If you bring in effigies, statues, paintings, or tapestries of Lakshmi, you have to follow some pretty strict rules in keeping her happy, because no one wants the insanity of Alakshmi. It took me nearly 2 years to get things straight after I fell by the wayside. It's not that it's hard to fall back in favor with Lakshmi, but she is a little picky. Lakshmi's also vegetarian, Sacred to her are things like elephants and osmanthus flowers, roses, tulsi, and sweet fruits. She loves sweet-smelling things. We see her sitting on a lotus with colors of reds and pinks and white. And when I chose an herbal blend to honor her, I kept those things in mind. Our herbal blend has lotus flower stamens, rose petals, little lavender, tulsi in 3 varieties, the Rama, the Krishna, the Nirvana, and then I later added goji berry and coconut flakes. There's a special coconut that's called Shrifal. This coconut is called the fruit of Lakshmi. Adding this into the tea is bringing her and her energy of wealth and prosperity to you. I'll also be adding a little packet of turmeric with our tea in our shop, so you can try it with or without just to see how you like it and create your own golden milk mashup. I'm also going to be adding osmanthus because it is a sacred flower to her. Osmanthus is a symbol of love and romance, as well as a blessing of fertility and peace. It has the scent of ripe peaches and plums and a very creamy taste. Osmanthus is known to promote a youthful glow to your skin. It boosts eye health. It's an appetite suppressant. Great for detoxing, and it feeds your body vital nutrients like manganese to give you energy. Lotus is known for decreasing swelling. It's been studied and shown to kill cancer cells and bad bacteria. It also helps reduce blood sugar. Lotus flower can help the breakdown of fat, which lowers cholesterol, protects your heart, and protects your blood vessels. And lotus flower protects your skin and liver and improves brain function. Finally, let's talk about goji berries. Now, if you played Farmville 10 years ago, you may be familiar with this one. That's where I learned about goji berries. Goji berries are also called wolfberries. They're said to slow the signs of aging, as well as protecting the eyes from vision decline and strengthen the kidneys, the liver, and the lungs. So that makes them a powerful detoxer. Look for our Lakshmi herbal blend and Rich Witch Nilgiri blend on our website at witchesteaflint.com. On a side note, the festival of Diwali is being celebrated on the 14th. Lakshmi is honored this day, so the timeliness of this tea is pretty perfect for bringing abundance and prosperity into your life. Diwali means Rose of Lighted Lamps. It's a festival of lights and a celebration of joy. People light up their houses and stores and shops and pray to Ganesh for good welfare and keep obstacles out of their path. And they pray to Lakshmi for wealth and prosperity. We could all use some of that. Be sure to light candles or lanterns if you have them, and give special thanks to Lakshmi and Ganesh for the blessings they've brought into your life, if you're so inclined. Thanks for listening today. I really do love putting these podcasts together and talking to you all about tea and the energies that have gone into these teas. Be sure to find us on all of our socials. Just search for Witches Tea Flint. Leanne will be up tomorrow with another Astrocast on our Facebook page, so be on the lookout for that as she breaks down the 12 zodiac signs and lets you know what's moving for you. Stay safe, stay healthy, make good choices, be good to one another. Make sure you drink more tea, especially ours, and we'll see you later.